So welcome to our Friday Bring Your Own Lunch and Learn sessions. And today we are going to talk about what is new in SAFe 6.0. And today we are presenting myself and Dinesh, and Ajay is our friend and colleague as well. So Ajay, feel free to jump in if you have any comments. My name is Aina Alive. I'm an Agile Enterprise coach with an experience for about 10 years and also passionate behaviorist and amateur in psychology. And Dinesh, as I mentioned, is my colleague in the Agile field and also transformational coach. And Dinesh or Ajay, if you have anything else to say to your introduction, feel free to jump in right now, or otherwise Dinesh will start presenting.
Okay, thank you. I don't have...
Thank you, Aina. Ajay, glad to see you here. And
glad to see you, but remember the book that is behind you, that small blue book, right? I am interested. So we'll talk about that later.
Okay, sure thing. Yeah, we can talk about these things as well. So folks, I wouldn't spend much time on introductions. It's just that quickly been privileged to work with these wonderful people, and we will be sharing our collective knowledge. So it's open for all, and without much further ado, let's dive in. So, what's going on? Right. What's new in SAFe? So, thriving digitally with business agility. That has been the tagline for Scaled Agile for some time, and then we are trying to see how we can going to be aligning ourselves better in digital age. Now, the thing is, why SAFe keeps coming with these different versions? So, this is all about what SAFe asks us to do as practitioners, as part of our ongoing work, that when we say, oh, we have to inspect and adapt and adjust, right? So the inspect and adapt is not only for people who are following SAFe, but it's also for the people who are creating it and who are living and breathing it, right? So SAFe has been in the industry for more than a decade now. It all started back in 2011, and it has gone through multiple iterations of evolution. And currently, last month, no, it's not last now, it's last month, because it was launched in March of 2023 as a SAFe 6.0, which has brought in a lot of good changes and in tune with and in line with the market that we are currently in, with the customers' needs, what customers are looking for, and so on and so forth. So the premise remains the same, basics remain the same. It's just that more structure has been put in, more thought has been put in how this is going to be looking to support the organizational digital journeys, enabling organizations to do things better, making that flow of work being a flow, value flow being more streamlined and uninterrupted. All those are the key themes here, and also some like nomenclature has been changed, a program has been taken off. But it's not just about the programs, it's about the practices. So that's what it is going to be all about.
And a spoiler, what I'm the most excited about is to see the emotional intelligence, artificial intelligence onto the SAFe tool belt. So that was the most exciting for me when I saw the updates. You know that I am passionate about artificial intelligence and also had a few webinars on this topic. And now I am excited to see how SAFe is going to implement it. Please continue, Dinesh.
Yep, and thanks, Anna. Yeah, SAFe is trying to stay in tune with what's going on around us and trying to provide guidance to the organization, how they can start including those things into their day-to-day work. So this is certainly being done. So it's been like it has become part of organizations. The DNA for many organizations has been on the SAFe right from the day one when SAFe 1.0 was there, right? So now those organizations has been adopting. So this is now becoming kind of your integral system for adapting the to change, building resilient teams and thriving in modern digital business. That's what we are looking for. Meeting the new realities, what's going to be there in the market. It's not just the technology which is fueling, but there are a lot of things, right? So which is happening in the market, and there are also external factors outside of the organizations, things like pandemic, climate change, and all that has made impact on how we come together, how we collaborate, how we work together. And that has reflected on how we do things more in virtual setups, collaborations during virtual setup and all, right? So it's certainly becoming a need of our that we continue to strive for continuous excellence and making changes the way we work. It is Safe 6 also is the foundational things are same, but it has been optimized to accelerate the value delivery. It has been optimized to focus more on outcomes of your business and deal with your customer. And it's been at the center stage of all previous versions also, customer at the table or customer centricity, that still remains the theme. So what are the 6 different themes that are going to be there for 6.0? You can see the strengthening the foundation of business agility, empowering teams, and clarifying responsibility. There were certain ambiguities, or maybe those were not ambiguities from the creator's perspective, but the practitioners were finding, oh, there is some ambiguity. What a Scrum Master does, what a RTE does, what a PO does, and how those come together. So bringing more clarity in there, making it more in line with how industry views the guidance and how the interpretation could be being done differently. Then third theme is accelerating the value flow. Fourth theme is enhancing business agility with safe across the business. Fifth theme is you're building the future with AI, big data, and cloud. And as you know, it's been like cloud has been already been part of the whole DevOps conversations, but bringing it in all on the big picture is going to make a difference, like right in there, right in your face, and you can look at it, and then you can start thinking how you are going to integrate these things into your ecosystem so that you can continue to leverage what's available from the market and continue to build on your continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines and deliver better outcomes, measure and grow, and have OKRs aligned to get the overall holistic alignment. So let's look at the big picture. So if you can see on the big picture, you will see some subtle differences which are there. And it's been done to bring in more clarity. It's been some declutter that has been done on this big picture. If you will compare with the previous picture and this picture, you will find certain areas that they are being more cleaned up, specifically around, if you see in that theme areas here, there is a lot of clarity has been brought in. And this is why it is important that we understand these changes as we move along. So let's continue to the first of the theme for today's conversation, which is going to be strengthening the foundation for business agility. So as you can see that in the foundation, earlier it used to be more of centered around the lean agile leadership. And lean agile leadership was making more of a foundational thing. And now what has been done is like continuous learning organization or continuous learning culture has been brought into the foundation, because this lean agile leadership and continuous learning culture has to go hand in hand to make an impact on the organization's business agility. So it's not like just the leadership, but also the having that culture that is going to make a difference. Understanding business agility from the value stream perspective, having business agility value stream, and all that has been put into the big picture to make it better aligned with needs of our current marketplace and need of the organizations that are currently working on this. Also, there are some changes with respect to implementation roadmap that has been revised, and we will go through that as we move on.
Maybe let's stop here in case people have any questions.
Yeah, sure. We will make quick stops. I will say I will take analogy from a Formula One racing, like just do a quick pit stop and have one or two quick questions, and then we continue. Okay, no questions. All right, let's carry on. So business agility value stream was there in 5.0 also, or 5.1 also, but that was more of an extended guidance. It was not as part of the whole big picture, but now it has been elevated to bring in more focus on the business agility value stream, because business agility is what we should be striving for. It's not basically looking from the system thinking's perspective, bringing it like as we call it local optimization versus global optimization, right? So to have that global optimization from holistically from bringing everyone together from business value delivery perspective, in order to thrive in this current digital age, we certainly need to master the understanding about our business value stream and make that agile. So that's where like so you first need to understand your value streams and then put a lens of business value stream and then edit it or top it up with agile practices, and that's how you bring in your business agility value stream together, right? And it's been always the case, like we always has been looking into it from our even core competencies perspective, and we will be seeing how that all brings it together, and we will continue to evolve. Like our core competency is one of the core competencies is lean agile leadership, team and technical agility. All those are core competencies, right? But those all support for organizations to gain the business agility. The other thing you can see on this slide is, which is I want to highlight, Scaled Agile has come up with a guidance like if you're trying to deliver something, it's not something that you start something today and you get a result tomorrow. No, sorry, not possible. Making it realistic, your expectations has to be realistic. Hence, it may be somewhere from 2 to 6 months for you to actually get a minimum viable product out in the market, or ability to test your waters with your clientele within your organization. So that guidance kind of earlier was not explicit, but that has been now brought in because a lot of questions were being asked. Okay, I want to do this. How can I do this? Can I get it done by next month? Oh no, you will have to do some groundwork. You will have to understand certain things, and then in order to get through that whole experiment and get you to understand whether your experiment is working or not, whether you are able to get your value or not, you need to give some time also. So there is a elapsed time that is required. If there is a prep time that is required, there is a work time that is required. So this is why this guidance has been added for 2 to 6 months minimum viable product. All right. So as I was emphasizing in the big picture also, the continuous learning culture was added to the foundation because it is something which is foundational for any organization to have that success, just like lean agile leadership is just having this lean agile leadership being there and they being trained or being understood will not help the organization as a whole. So hence, this has been part of now the foundational practices or foundational core practice for the safe implementations. And also, as you can see, SPC or safe practice consultant, which is used to be called safe program consultant earlier, that's another change. And we will go through those naming changes also later in today's presentation, but just to give you perspective there that this is also now called safe practice consultant, because we are talking about the practices here. It's not limited to some program or something. So it's all about practices that we are going to be following collectively, collaboratively with our extended teams and with the team of coaches. So basically, SPCs are here representing the coaches, because you need, in order to have your lean agile leadership aligned and having a continuous learning culture, you need someone to support that whole transformation that is going to take shape in the organization. And hence, coaching capacity is required as part of your whole foundational work itself.
And I want to ask our audience today, I'm just curious, guys, if you have the continuous learning culture in your organization. You can message us on using the Zoom chat.
Yeah, you can use the chat or use the reactions, thumbs up, thumbs down, what's going on. So just give a pulse of the market basically. And in the interest of time, I will continue.
Yeah.
If there are any questions, we can probably take in between because there are 40 odd slides to go. Right. So quickly again, there has been update to the Lean Agile mindset also to align more with the principles that are there and also align with the agile values. And there has been always a conversation about oh, agile is for software development. Probably yes, probably no. It's for everything, but yes, how it was conceived was better ways for developing software by doing it and helping others to do it. So that's been the bottom line. It was never said it's just for software development or it's going to just help something else also, but um, it's basically from that perspective that you're always discovering better ways. You are always trying to do things better. You are always trying to continuously improve. While lean talks about the value by product. It focuses on the value stream. It talks about value flow without interruptions. Or in other words, if you are being a lean practitioner or have been part of the lean, you might have seen like wastage, like your focus is on removing those wastage or wasteful steps that are going to be impeding your progress, right? And try to pursue perfection because there is no perfect state. And probably stating that something is perfect or saying, oh, I know it all is something one cannot do more wrong things than that for themselves, right? So I always say it like, it's not know it all from my perspective, but within this room, which is virtual room, we have enough wisdom and knowledge and experience probably to know it all, but not one person will be able to cover every aspect of it. So I see Aina is highlighting value on items left and right, and I believe she's trying to stress upon the point that uh, stating that, oh, Agile does not have any documentation or Agile doesn't talk about any negotiations or Agile is always about the change. Things are there from that perspective also. So you also have the process and tools, but what you value more is there. But you also have documentation, what necessary and sufficient documentation versus detailed documentation. So just to touch base on those refreshers from the Agile values perspective. But today's focus is more on safe. So I will keep on going on this. Otherwise, we can spend probably few minutes or even an hour just to talk about the value of these things and how these operate in an organizational context. So we will be talking about the safe core values as we move forward, so that there has been a change. Earlier, there were two core values, if you recall correctly, and those were alignment and transparency. Respect for people and relentless improvement has been added to the core values now. Just like four-dimensional core values, and there used to be a safe house of clean that has gone out of the picture because that was again kind of bringing those foundational and roofs and all together and having these, but it was thought that it is going to be more and more in tune with to make it more cleaner and more precise in terms of the guidance. And as Aina is highlighting, diversity is the key. Valuing that, valuing people and opinions is important. And in overall respect for people, so if you are not getting getting respect in your organization, the first thing that happens is you detach yourself from the organization. You may continue to work for that organization for even a year after you start feeling that way, but your engagement, your commitment to the organization and the work will go on a very downward trajectory, right? But if you are valued in organization, you feel respected in the organization, you may work just 6 months, but the value you will bring in those 6 months will outweigh years when you are not engaged and not feeling respected. Because as you know that Maslow's theory, right? So your needs. So as long as your basic needs are taken care of, you may continue in the employment, but for the other needs, you will look something else and you will need to do something different that is going to be of your interest, right? So yeah, we can go in deeper details, Aina, but I think in the interest of time, I will certainly be trying to say let's just keep on moving because there are some more key changes that we are going to be talking more about. But yes, you're highlighting the right things on here. Like we have to build long-term partnership based on the mutual benefits. This mutual benefit is between organization and the employees as well as within employees, right? So there always has to be that negotiation or give and take. Like, okay, if we are bringing in this, what we get, because it's in human nature to ask the question, what's in it for me, right? It's in human nature to resist and to change. And those, it's like not only human, any living thing. And you can run so many quick experiments, like I've heard about multiple experiments, but one of the things which I really see, uh, like as small as insects, right? The moment you react, they change their course. So that this is something human as well as any living thing has resistance to change. If you try to come in their way, they will try to resist or they will try to find a different way. So that's very nature of any living and human being in on this planet. All right, let's move. So there is update to safe principle. As you recall, and I'm sure whoever has been trained on the safe or certified on the safe, they must be recalling that these 10 principles of the safe are basically customized version of 12 principles which are there from the manifesto, but those have been customized and brought in a little more economic view and building more from the perspective of providing guidance to the organization. This number 6 used to be talking about different things like work in progress, batch size, queue length, and so on and so forth. But those are more in line with what the basically you are going to be doing from the flow-based value accelerator perspective. Hence, it was thought apt that we should highlight it as a value flow without interruptions rather than calling out those different things that can be done as part of that acceleration. And this is one of very key change that has been brought in by Scaled Agile, because we want to focus on flow of value. We want to focus on business agility. We want to focus on delivering outcomes. Hence, aligning all of those different elements together to bring in overall guidance on achieving business agility. Next up is our implementation roadmap. There has been again guidance or changes that has been brought in this. So there used to be that initial step that was called as a waterfall or ad hoc agile kind of scenario, right? If you are there or all that stuff, but that has been removed because you don't want to create a perception that it's only for the organization that are doing some ad hoc agility or something. It's not from that perspective. It does not always begin from those starting points. So hence, you could be having burning platform need. You could be having a front agile or your ad hoc agile, or you might be looking to do things differently from based on the external factors like pandemic forced teams to come together, doing more collaboration, being more virtual, hence bringing more agility. There could be multiple triggers. Those triggers are not limited to just that. Hence, whenever your organization is ready, you are ready, you go safe. And that's how it has been done. And then the other thing that's been added to this implementation roadmap is basically getting the safe executive workshop. So because executives are the ones, those need to be aligned first. It's not about teams, but teams are certainly integral piece of this whole transformation, but it's not teams that is going to be making or giving the directions based on the top. So executive has to be trained. Executive has to be having the same language, and they should be able to speak the same language as the transformation people are going to be talking, so that they can have a conversation in the same language. They can be on the same page. If that doesn't get done, you certainly see a lot of gaps that come out of it, and it becomes kind of a acting force against each other, like transformation trying to drive in one direction and then executive come back and try to guided in another direction, which suddenly creates a lot of friction in the organization, hence creates issues with all the transformations, and certainly it's not a healthy environment when you are having those type of frictions. And as you know, top driven is always going to take priority from the bottom up, right? So if something is top down, and the top down is driving your transformation to be going on a downward spiral, you will have to accept it because it's coming from the top. Hence, executive education is key. They need to understand and they need to start speaking the same language so that rest all of the things could come together. We are able to organize around value. We are going to be delivering our portfolio value to our customers and to our organizations. There are some subtle changes that has been brought in here, which is going to be bringing in more pointed directions to the implementation teams, which is going to be comprised of SPCs and coaches and change agents, change managers, and all of those people. And also one of the key additions that has been done for before you go anywhere else, because your understanding of your organizing around value workshop, and which is basically going to be enabled by your value stream identification workshop that has to be done. Hence, that has been added as a very explicitly upfront step before you actually go for any creation of your agile trains or start executing upon those. So that's been changed. So making sure that we do all the right steps to create those building blocks, have that foundation ready so that we can deliver value faster, right? As I was telling, it is not anymore safe program consultant. It is basically now safe practice consultant, and their focus is going to be basically on embedding a lean agile mindset, leading the change, supporting, implementing safe in the organization, focus on the coaching flow to ensure that your flow of coaching is running across the organization and ultimately accelerating business agility. So now theme number 2, empowering teams and clarifying responsibilities. So we will see all the roles that's being clarified on the subsequent slides. But agile teams are like what is I would say hard to a human body, right? It helps you get into rhythm. It pumps your blood throughout your veins. Same agile teams does. They pump that work out of your systems so that you can deliver value, right? So they are at the core of your whole implementation, whole transformation, and people who make those teams are key to get yourself set up on this path of success for the organization in adopting safe or transforming safe or transformation in safe or adopting agility in other way around. Also, it may not necessarily be safe, but since we are talking about safe, I'm focusing more on safe, but it could be simply methodology agnostic adoption of agility, but focus has to be on the people and the people that make up of the team. So that's how it should be looking into. So we will be looking into different roles and their responsibility wheels, as we were seeing about SPC also. As you can see, there is a very clear guidance that has been provided, more clarity, what's their responsibility wheels look like for epic owners, architects, engineers, business owners, product management. I wouldn't be going into details of any of those, except just calling out on the agile teams, because that's core of our conversation from this perspective, and also looking into the agile release train perspective. So as you can see, it's improving relentlessly is going to be a part of our agile release trains, right? And so we are going to be seeing a quick example here, if you can see in the next slide. Yeah, so improving relentlessly is there always the theme, and then rest all brings come together. So we can do it in either way. Like we can start from improving relentlessly, from where what we know how we are going to improve ourselves, connect with the customer. Once we connect with the customer, we have to plan the work, right? Once we plan the work, prioritize it, deliver it, getting feedback, improving relentlessly. So that circle goes on. That's why it is called wheel. That's why it's just an never-ending circle, right? You are always look out for the continuous improvement as an art, as a individual roles. We will see some of the roles as well in the following slides. So we can certainly understand that part as well, how these wheels connect the dots throughout.
Dinesh, should we spend a bit more time on the roles like business owners, product management, and product owner? Because I have questions on differences or like similarities of these roles all the time.
Oh, well, yeah, actually, if we are going to, I know we are going to have more specific directed questions on role-based things. I would recommend that we can have another conversation on that, because if we spend time on that, we will not be able to cover all 6 themes today.
Okay.
Okay. We can certainly have another follow-up session. If we have a demand in our community to understand more about it, we can certainly do that. So I will be touching upon very quickly on this, as well as we'll be touching upon those content authority roles that, but not going into deeper details for today. That's the part here. All right. So, as a Scrum Master, which is also now going to be called as team coach, because there was always a confusion whether Scrum Master is a coach or not. So Scaled Agile said, okay, no, we are going to call our Scrum Masters team coach also, because they are expected to be, as you know, by definition, and I'm sure, irrespective of whether it is a Scaled Agile or any other Scrum certification, the guidance is always very clear. Scrum Master is the custodian of the Agile values and principles, and to be the first person who is going to be coaching team on that. So certainly Scrum Master plays a key role, hence the team coach, and their focus is on supporting execution, improving flow, building high-performing teams, improving the performance of the whole agility stream, and facilitation in PI planning. So because there is a lot that goes on in the PI planning. If you guys are not familiar with all of these concepts and all, what we can do, and we can have a poll Aina on this, and we can actually do a workshop on what is safe rather than what's new. We can do and talk about what's basically Safe 6.2 is. That's going to go into more deeper details of all those aspects. So
I think more workshops are coming.
Yeah, and as you are talking about the roles of product management and all, you can see there are 4 content authority roles in any organization, which are going to be holding the pen on the content or making decisions around content. Product management is there, and they are going to be working with our whole ecosystem. Same system architect, again working with the whole ecosystem. Solution architect, again working with the ecosystem, and solution management working with the whole ecosystem. So they have to collaborate across those, and that's their responsibility, will to connect with them and make those collaborations so that we get what we need to give it to our end users. Third theme is accelerating value flow. So as you can see, things has been updated in our big picture. Everywhere our focus is on flow of value from the team perspective, from the art perspective, from solution train perspective, portfolio. Everywhere we are focusing on the value flow, and this whole all flows, different flows are going to be enabling the business agility and value flow from end to end for our end users. So there are flow-based system has 8 different properties, as you can see here, which has been defined. First and foremost is, and this is all was there in our previous safe version also, but it's been more organized and brought in how these things work, and we are going to be also having 8 flow accelerators, as we call them, in more details. But as you can see here, work in progress, feedback, bottleneck, worker, patch, end of policies, queue. And these are also our basically going to be feeding from our flow accelerators, which is the more important part. That's why I wanted to come to this slide and talk about it. So as you can see, this is all coming together from what we were changing in principle number 6 earlier and bringing all this together. So visualize and limit work in progress. And other phrase we coaches typically call it is stop starting, start finishing, because the more you have work in progress, the more is the switching cost, more it's going to be impeding your progress. So it's certainly not going to be helping your cause if you are not visualizing and limiting your work in progress. Address the bottlenecks, again, another lean tenet, right? So addressing that bottlenecks, whatever bottlenecks you are identifying, focus on those so that you can increase the flow of value throughout the system, right? Minimize hands-off and dependencies. Like if there are going to be hundreds of dependencies on any step you do, it's certainly going to impede you one way or other. How you can streamline it, how you can make sure that your arts are defined in such a way that you are going to be optimizing. I always, personally, I don't call it minimize. Personally, I call it optimize, because minimize is not the right word, because that's not going to be the minimum. While you are doing some minimization, you are compromising on one or the other aspect, right? But when you are optimizing, you are getting on the best of both sides. So it's more of a win-win scenario when you optimize. But when you minimize, there is some compromise that is happening on to the one side or the other. Faster feedback, how you can create those feedback loops, getting that feedback faster. Again, if you circle back and look at the wheel, we were talking about the art. We are always focusing on the feedback so that that can feed into our continuous improvement aspect, right? So this is always good to have a faster feedback loops to be established, and those feedback loops could be based on your customers' demos, your taking the working softwares to them, or getting their feedback while you are in the progress of building it. The faster you get it, the better you are going to be doing about it. And then again, working in smaller batches. Again, it is not smallest batch, smaller batches, which is going to be optimized. Again, optimization is the key. You have to optimize your holding cost, transactional cost to get you the optimum output that is going to be helping your cause in delivering value faster. Again, reducing queue length is another important aspect that goes hand in hand with your limiting work in progress, because it certainly is going to have impact on how you are going to be managing your work. And optimizing time in the zone when you are working on something and how things are going to be, which zone they are in. So you have to certainly look into, again, optimization. So optimize, optimize, optimize. No minimize. I will personally recommend whatever you want to looking into improving, always look from optimization perspective so you can balance the pros and cons out there. And then there are different policies, especially in the large organization where metrics organizations are there. You are going to be seeing a lot of policies and practices that are going to be inhibiting your progress. So how you can bring in different policies together, or how you can improve those policies and remove these jig-jags that happen in your organization, how you can make those smoother. All that has to come into play in order to accelerate the value flow. Right? And these accelerators apply differently to each level, because at each level demands and things are going to be different. At a team level, your focus is going to be from different. So context is important. Basically, you're contextualizing the implementation of those accelerators at your different levels. How you're, for example, if it is going to be from the portfolio perspective, probably your focus is not going to be there what you are actually developing or delivering. Your focus is on how your things are coming into your pipeline and how you are able to address them and assign them to the different arts or solution trains, so that you can reduce that wait time, right, happening in the beginning, like you had an idea, but if that idea has to sit in for 9 months, it's of no value, because by the time those 9 months are gone, maybe your competition has already come with the same idea in the market already, and you have lost your first mover advantage, and you are probably not going to regain that lost advantage unless you would have moved faster. So certainly, so at each area where you are going to be applying it, contextualize it. What makes the most impact at that level, that has to be optimized. So we should not be, again, we should not be talking about optimizing the intake at the team level. We should not be talking about development optimization at the portfolio level. Just to give you some pointers out.
Indra, did we just answer your question, or you want a deeper answer?
Oh, there was a question on this?
Yeah, there are already questions on optimizing.
Okay. Yeah, and we can certainly talk about more in details as we, oh, okay, I see deeper a bit, please. So question is, how do you justify the optimized work levels when some organization expect that you can just optimize increasing unlimited work? So that's where, okay, so that's where if you connect dots back to when I was talking about the education to the executives is most important part, because if they are not understanding how this is going to work, how this optimization is going to work, no matter what we do at the team levels is not going to resonate with them. Hence, it is really, really important that all layers in the organization are equally educated and understand and speak the same language. So I can empathize with you, because that's the reality of many organizations where they think, okay, being agile means they can bring anything to you and you will deliver it. So I can certainly relate to that, and that's the big pain area for a lot of transforming organizations as well as non-transforming organizations also. But we can have more personalized conversations in our follow-up sessions, folks. But for today's, let's focus on the topic for the day.
Just one comment, Dinesh. So increasing unlimited work. So to prevent this being unlimited, we can limit work in progress and also prioritize. So that's how your unlimited work will be limited, and then you can optimize.
Yeah, but see, and that's why I don't want to go into this, because this is a Pandora's box. Okay, I can keep on prioritizing unlimitedly, right? Everything I bring to you is highest priority. It's going to deliver highest value. How are you going to control that, right? Unless executive who is pushing that work understand that teams can deliver based on defined capacity with a defined cadence, and no matter what, you have to respect those boundaries. And unless that understanding is there with the leaders, with the executives, these problems there is no easy solution to these problems without that. All right, so let's quickly move Kanban. So there was a reference of Kanban earlier, but now Scaled Agile has come with a very specific illustration of Safe Kanban and Safe Scrum both. And as you can see on this slide, they have talked about how this whole thing works together. There is still a team backlog. Based on the context, you are feeding it from your PI backlog. And you are talking about it going on plan, deliver, and you are still doing your demos and increments and coming together as teams on the defined sync and cadence. You are going to follow that. Ajay, I see your hands up. You have something to add?
I'm trying not to take so much of your time, right? But this particular question actually resonates with me. The increasing unlimited work. And I think it's a good thing to have an increasing unlimited work, because what that means is that there's so much opportunity to delight our customers. And the team will be more responsive to that, right? But if you see the first slide that Dinesh present, there is that WIP limit which is there. It's a very, very important tool to actually optimize that. What it does, it matches those increasing demand to the capacity of the team, and it ensures that you guys are not, the team don't get burnout. And as well, there is an opportunity to actually see the bottleneck very clearly, and the team can come in and collaborate to actually get that bottleneck off their flow, and the flow just keep increasing, right? So I just think I should respond to that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Aji. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. So like our focus today was more on understanding the new in SAFe. So probably having a deeper conversation on these topics, we can have probably a conversational setup maybe next week or week after, Raina, where we can bring together different folks from this audience, as well as have new audience also join us and have these conversations.
Sounds good. I'm already creating new meetings.
All right. So from Canvan perspective, there is no clear guidance available from SAFe, and it's going to be called SAFe Team Canvan. And similarly, we have a very clear guidance now available for Scrum. Earlier, it used to be called Scrum XP. But if you are familiar with XP, which is also Extreme Programming, which is a few decades old, the technical practices that help the team build the quality product. So this is aptly moved to built-in quality sections. So things that were XP practices like your test-driven development, your pair programming, your peer reviews, and all has been moved to the quality section, because built-in quality is essential to part of our ongoing transformation journeys. So Canvan, you set up your boards. This is more of an illustration on how you go about it and how you work together and come on same sync and cadence, so that you can deliver as one big unit of teams. So some of your teams could be Scrum, some of your teams could be Canvan, but you will all come together at a defined cadence so that you can do your system demos, you can do your understanding of your working softwares and integration points, and doing it continuously makes a difference. So this is more clear articulation of how you should be going about it in your SAFe implementation. And most of the organizations where I've been working, or my colleagues have been working, we are trying to adopt to these. Even before SAFe 6.0, we were trying to have our boards, having our value streams, having classes of service. So we have been trying to do this irrespective of what is being, but now with SAFe 6.0, it is going to be available for one and all, and everyone can refer to the same source as we are practicing. Built-in quality, it supports the flow, because without built-in quality, your product is not going to be meeting the demands of the market. As I was talking, all those quality practices, learning lab, peer and peer review, T-shaped skills, all those has been moved into built-in quality, and this is going to be supporting the value flow across the organization. All right, I will have to quickly go through value stream here. As you can see, value stream management has been elevated to the higher level, and it has been elevated to the business agility value stream. Earlier, it used to be more of a development value stream and operational value stream, but now with 6.0, this has been elevated and also been put in as part of portfolio responsibility rather than being an extended guidance. How it has to be done, how we do it, it's all a deeper conversation. Probably value stream itself is a worthy of 1 hour session of our lunch and learn, or even more. Aji, I'm sure you would agree. I can see with your smile. All right.
More, I already scheduled 1 hour value stream management for July.
All right, sounds great. All right. And with all of this, the focus is on value, and hence it's going to be a value management rather. And in some organizations, that's also called value realization. So there could be different names you might be seeing in your organization, but there is change in the way things are getting evaluated and looked into from guardrail perspective in any organization. It's now no more a PMO or no more agile PMO as it was earlier called. It is going to be now called VMO from SAFE perspective. And their responsibilities will remain as they are going to defining this portfolio, working on the value delivery flow, working with the Lean Agile Center of Excellence, and providing the lean budgeting and governance around it. So are certainly going to be the same area that they were anyways be doing as part of the previous version also. So it's just that we are aligning it better with in line with the market and better in line with whole value theme that has been brought in as part of 6.0. Enhancing business agility with SAFE across the business is a fourth theme that is there. And as part of this, business and technology has to work together, which has always been the case. Like we are always have been saying that they have to work together. There is the business and technology cannot be like this or like this. They have to be like this. Only then you can achieve true business agility or organizational agility in your organization. So they have to be coming together and collaborating and doing things in sync to achieve the business agility. So there has been extension that has been done on this. You can see business enabled art is the new term here. Earlier it should be like agile release train or solution train, but now it is business enabled art that is going to be supported by executive team, business function, as well as the combined portfolio that is going to be there. Includes, as I was talking earlier, operational and developmental value stream. So it's just basically movement going places. So SAFE is being implemented for different aspects. It's just not IT, but it's also being practices to finance, marketing, HR, legal, ops. It's being embraced everywhere, and there is a lot of information that is available, but I will not get into the details of it. You can always go to scaledagileFramework.com to get that big picture deep dive on any of those aspects, and you can always look for other articles on community.scaledaagile.com. So all this information is available in public domain. Nothing is hidden anywhere, and we will be sharing PDF of this presentation for your review, and you can go through it at your own time and be more prepared for a conversation when we have that conversational session on SAFE. Bringing in big data, AI, and cloud. As you can see, there is different elements and they have been brought into the big picture. And if you take a deeper look here, AI, big data has been built in the portfolio layer, because that's where you need all the metadata to come together to make data-driven decisions. So data-driven decision making is going to help define fact-based insights to the stakeholders to take those decisions which are not based on gut feel or he said or she said scenario, but it's the data telling us this is the direction we should be heading. This is how our customers are reacting, and so on and so forth. AI has been brought into the right side that can reversalize solutions in the organizations, and it can influence your business models based on, because sometimes human eye cannot catch all the interactions taking place, but systems can. And that's where how well you adopt to it, how well you train your models in AI are going to be really valuable. That's why it has been brought in, and you can bring in at any level, and it's going to be customization in based on, again, organizational context is important. I always call it out, and cloud has been depicted right there in the team area, because that's where you actually are focusing on delivering value faster. You are implementing those continuous integration, continuous improvement, or also called DevOps pipelines, and cloud certainly helps you, because if you have to spin off new servers or spin off new things or new you have to add more capacity and or doing it on the physical systems is time consuming. It does require time and effort. While on cloud, it could be on demand. And we currently in our organization, we are working on to have on demand, and it's already implemented actually in the last quarters. In 2 quarters, we are able to spin up the in environments on demand. We just click and you get your environment ready in the next few minutes. Well, if it was being done in a traditional environment, it would take weeks to procure something, then set it up, and then hook it up to the network, and then you can do something with it. So how you can bring in more agility and do those things, cloud certainly helps in there. Big data helps in your decision making. AI helps in you shaping up your solution. So I will not go through in those details here. I will simply move to the next as I covered those on high level because I'm left with few minutes only or couple of minutes only. So delivering better outcomes with measure and grow and OKRs. So it's not that these things were not there. These things were there, but these things were more of an extended guidance. Now it has been brought in as essential part of the whole picture. The focus is going to be on outcomes, flow, and competency. How we improve on these areas to deliver value faster, bring more business agility, so and so forth. And it from OKR perspective, how these aligns from right from top to the teams. You can see when you have those strategic teams, you define those, have your OKRs there, those gets feeded into your epic levels, and these epic levels, I always clarify, not epics in Jira. These are epics, portfolio level epics we are talking about here, and then that goes into your OKRs for the transforming the organization. And there is a quick use case here, and you can read through it. But I'm sorry, I will have to drop off now because I have something which I have to join at 1 o'clock. And this is there is a lean business case, which is there has been again having more extended guidance on the business outcomes in OKR way, and setting even your transformation goals and how you can cascade those to different layers of the organizations is also there. And other important changes other than these 6 themes that we reviewed is backlogs, spanning palette, and solution delivery and terminology changes, which I will just quickly run by and call out, like these spanning changes, palette changes you are saying on the right side, and then not this one, and the terminology changes which are we have been talking, like program backlog is everywhere. Program is being phased out. It's always art or agile release train. Program is phased out in safe program consultant. It's called practice consultant, and so on and so forth. So these are all standardization on the solution level, and all other terminology sync in terms of the daily stand-up. There is no stand-up, it's team sync, because we are syncing the team. That stand-up was the term that was a legacy term from the perspective that we were physically meeting with the members of the team. Like earlier, the whole focus was on co-location of the team being there all together. That stand-up was coming in from there. Hence, that's been now rephrased to the team sync to in tune with current working conditions and current practices we have. And Scrum is now coaches sync, and Scrum XP is now Safe Scrum. And to connect with us, these are our LinkedIn QR, so you can connect with us. And with that, I'm sorry I wouldn't be able to take any questions today, but we'll be happy to connect with you guys next week or following week whenever I introduce that session. Thank you very much for joining in. Appreciate your time, and thank you, Aina Aji, for your support.
Thank you so
I
much.
will take your leave now, folks. You can continue your conversation, but I will take your leave.
Thank you very much, Dinesh, for this comprehensive presentation. Thank you, Aji, for supporting us. So guys, if you would like to receive the slides, please email directly to me on LinkedIn with your email, and I will then use the slides. And I also feel the urge of creating the community because I see the questions raising, but unfortunately we have just 1 hour, so we can't answer them and wait for like 2-3 weeks until the next session is quite long. So these questions are forgotten. So now I'm taking your recommendation on creating community seriously, and hopefully in June we can start the Discord or any other communication channel so we can discuss the sessions right after we finish them. And thank you very much for being so loyal and coming to us every Friday. Agi, welcome to the crew. Bogdan, thank you for joining us, and see you next Friday.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Aina.